everyone. Welcome to Sea Life Show. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host, zooming in from Florida. So we have George Zaroulis coming in from Largo. Fru was telling us about his event down at LTC last Thursday, honoring King Angwafo III.
I'll send the picture to John. John will put the picture of the guests on his show soon.
So, everyone was there. You had a video?
State Rep Vanna Howe was there.
Oh.
Oh yes, she was there. I call her my sister. She's always on any event that I invited her. So we had a cross section of attendants. Zoe, you remember Zoe who ran for state rep? Yep, she was there as well. And I would also take this opportunity to thank the crew at LTC, and in particular the acting director, Dan, and Wednesday. They worked so hard to put it together. And LTC, thank you so very much for always being there and bringing the studio to the community and inviting the community in. Thank you very much. Well, at this point, I think we've really seen that King Angwafo was not only part of Lowell, but he was really welcome in the state. So it explains why we are here today. For the two people who welcome Angwafo the third year, I think it will be humbling for them to share their thoughts about the king and send their wishes to the people of Africa, Cameroonians who are in this city, and in particular the people of Bamenda, whom we have a sister city with them, as well as the people, the kingdom of Mankon. After our two speakers, I'll just share a little bit of tradition, African tradition that you have never seen before when the king passes on, and so that you know a little bit of that. So at this moment, I would like to call former mayor and current city councilor, and I would say our Mankon queen here in Lowell. You're very welcome.
Well, thank you very much to all of you who spent time and out of your very busy schedule to come here and pay tribute to a king that was by far unbelievable. And he was just a gracious, humble, most thankful human being. First, let me just say, this is a city we're very, very rich. We're not rich in money, we're rich in ethnic diversity. We have all nationalities that come to the city of Lowell, and we open our arms, our city hall, our hearts to everyone that comes here. And I don't know when anyone ever realizes that we had the opportunity to have visit us a king from another country. It was just an honor to know that I was representing the city as the mayor in 2002, and we were gonna meet a king. That doesn't happen every day. So we were very excited and very thrilled to meet this wonderful, wonderful man. And if you notice when you watched the film and you saw different things about it, you picked up different things. I picked up how they are religious people. How many times did they mention God? So I know that Heather can appreciate that very much, and so could I. You could feel the love that this man had for our city, for his people. To think that he came all the way here to see people that were from Cameroon, that traveled all the way and made Lowell their home. What an honor for the people that were Cameroonians. I just thought that was amazing. So being the mayor at that time was quite an honor to represent the city and welcome the king. But then again, he came back. So we must have made some sort of an impression, because in 2007, when Bill Martin was our mayor, it was just magnificent to know that he liked us that much, that he would think of us again and come back. I couldn't imagine it. It was just so wonderful. I knew he was coming, but I didn't know the exact day that he was coming. So I have to tell you this story, because I can tell you that the feeling that I had for this man and his wife and the people that were surrounding him, he just respected them so much. There was a mutual respect there. But to tell you the lighter side of this gentleman, it was unbelievable. So in 2007, I knew he was coming, but I didn't know he was exactly there. It was a Tuesday. We were having a city council meeting, and I was walking up the stairs and took a right down the hall to go to the city council chambers, and someone said, hey, one of the Cameroonian people was a Lowellian, but he was Cameroonian, and he said, please come on in. He said, King Angwafo is here. I said, what? He's here tonight? Oh my goodness. So I went in and I said, oh, Your Royal Highness, thank you for being here. Thank you again. I said, I will address you. That's what I thought he said. I will address you, which I thought meant that he would come to the city council chamber and address all the people there. So as he's passing out gifts, and he gives a gift to the mayor, he had a gift for me. He didn't mean he would address the council. He meant he was going to dress me. And this is the dress that he dressed me with. You see what I'm saying? So I wore this tonight in honor of the king, because he gave this to me. The king gave me this. I mean, it's one thing to know a king, but that he gave you some garments, I couldn't believe it. So I just want to tell you that I'm so honored to be here tonight. I'm honored to know Fru, who is a remarkable gentleman and representative of the Cameroonian community. I'm so honored to be a friend. Thank you for inviting me this evening. I didn't know we were going to see these beautiful pictures. It brought back memories of the time when I was young. So I'm very grateful. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of it. And you could be anywhere else tonight, but you chose to be here. I'm honored that you thought enough to come here to pay respect to the king. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilor Rita. You always warm my hand. And you know, like I said, it's quite humbling and a privilege to have two former mayors to accept my call. That means that they value that transatlantic relationship, that royal relationship that they welcome in our king here. So the next person who actually had a good conversation with the king is our former mayor, Bill Martin. Please, would you share your thoughts to the Mankon people and to everyone?
Thank you, Fru, for organizing this remembrance of King Angwafo, and thanks to all of you for being here in remembrance of the King. As has been documented, I was the mayor in 2007 during the King's visit, and it really is, sort of speaks, I think, as a testament not only to the King and the people of Cameroon in Africa, but the people of Lowell, who are welcoming of immigrants from all over the world and visitors from all over the world. So it was really a special occasion and very humbling to hear from King Angwafo. We were able to learn, for example, that the king became a member of parliament really at the dawn of Cameroonian independence, right in the early 1960s, and served in parliament for almost 3 decades, which is very unusual for a king, right? So in that respect, the king was sort of a bridge from the past in the colonial and royalty days in Africa to the Cameroonian democracy that he was there for the inception of and devoted a major portion of his life to. And I'm hopeful that that's part of the reason why he was so interested in coming to America and coming to Lowell to learn about our democratic traditions. And he expressed some openness and willingness to learn how we do it here and to have the sister city relationship that we established. So all those things are sort of what makes a community sort of special and unique and prosper and grow. So certainly I was proud to be the mayor during that time, and I know Mayor Mercier feels similarly that we are welcoming to people from all over the world, and to the Cameroonian immigrants here in the city. Sure, it was a real honor to have your king visit, and he acknowledged that there were people from Cameroon and Lowell, and was grateful to the people of Lowell for the reception that they gave him. I know the king was a spiritual man, a spiritual leader, and an educated leader of the people of Mankon. And in recent years, sort of an advocate for peace too. During times of strife and violence, was always calling on the government to pursue peaceful resolution of disputes in Cameroon. So I take that as a fond and humble memory of my time meeting King Angwafo, and certainly to the people of Cameroon. On behalf of the people of Lowell, we're very sorry of your loss, and we're happy but respectful that we could pay our respects to your leader and your king here in the city of Lowell. So thanks all of you for being here to share this time with us and share with the people from Cameroon who are here in Lowell. And I think this message will go back to Cameroon, where the king served for so many decades. Thanks for letting me be a part of it, and thank you for organizing it.
Thank you very much for gracing the occasion, Bill. Thank you. Your presence means a lot. I'd like also to recognize our school committee member, Eileen, is sitting here, and also my city council in my district.
All right, yeah.
I also like to recognize the presence of the only elected Cameroonian to serve as a city councillor and also run for mayor. Some of you, Wilfred Bath.
So then on Saturday, we had this film premiere that ended in an unsatisfactory way for me, because the film got me all involved, and I was looking for some conclusion, and whoops, it's to be determined. I have to wait for the second film of this series. What is 3? Your son is going to nick me for $60 so that I can find out how this ends.
Well, but you know, your son is in the capitalist system, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so it means he's a good student, isn't that?
it does.
Well, so...
I was probably in that first picture. I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's you sitting right in front.
Yeah.
We can only see your head.
Right.
Yes, that's Cliff.
That's Cliff?
Yes. But if I may take this opportunity, Cliff, that's Anya, and that's Joe Hugler of Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
George
That's George, our
broke up.
our colleague here, and yours truly.
This
Yeah.
is a cinema yesterday. No, Saturday, right? Saturday.
Yep. All
Well-
of those are Lowellians, so it is home breed. Lowell should be very proud.
The cast seemed very happy. So I could imagine that if I had been performing to finally see myself on the screen. It's a very interesting story, and it raises lots of interesting questions.
Well, maybe since you preview it, what are your comments and what are your feelings? Because, you know, in order to make a director be good at what he does, not only praises, but also suggestion as to how to make it better are really very welcome.
Well, frankly, I like the cinematography. I thought that it was pretty crisp, and it supported the story. I discussed it with my wife afterwards. One of the things that I noticed was that under the outside exposure of religious faith, we saw people struggling with their sins, and how that impacted relationships in the family. Early off, I don't think it spoils anything to say there's a husband, a wife, a couple kids. The wife has a huge struggle with alcohol, and it turns out that the father has his own struggles. So I think that it's an interesting issue, an interesting question of how do we deal with our internal demons and lead the life we're supposed to lead. But yeah, filming wise, I thought it was good. The same police officer keeps showing up, and
What's that noise, John?
so was the producer Anye pleased with the premiere?
Well, yeah, he was very pleased. You know, the last two sessions were all sold out,
Oh,
and then people were coming to buy there. There were no tickets and no seats.
I almost opted for the last section
Oh, it
because
was
I
all
was
sold out.
pressed for time, and my wife said, "No, go now."
Yes.
And so I did, and it would have been a mistake to have waited.
Yeah, most people did not. Those who came at 8 o'clock, it was all sold out. John, what was your take?
My takeaway is I can hardly wait to the next one. It's a good movie. No one Anye. When he was the cop, I had to have a big smile on my face when I saw he was the cop. But everything was great. The way it looked, the way the story went. These people were excellent actors. It seemed like they were realistic in their roles. And I'm like a little bit of Cliff. Looking forward to the next volume of this movie. It was good. Very good.
Yeah, well, on his behalf, I'd like to thank you both for coming out to support his first step. It is a step, a baby step. But
Yep.
maybe with all the support, it could become a giant step.
Okay, so is it going to be distributed? It has to be picked up to be distributed by some studio, picked up?
Well, right now, you know, the technicality and the business aspect of it is still being worked out. I think him as a producer, he has done his job, and right now we're trying to explore other avenues to how to distribute it. If you have any ideas or leads or suggestions, we'll be really will appreciate it. Or if there is anyone out there listening that can chip in ideas or help, please feel free to call City Life, and I will get the information. But and the good thing is, you see, our kids in Lowell, one of Lowellians bringing Lowell on the big screen. It's a pride for us as a city, and I think Lowell is always diverse, and that's one thing that I said I love about Lowell. There is so much to love about Lowell, and that's one of the few things.
Yep. So,
So was this was this all shot on Cambridge Street? Or where was the only sign I saw in the movie was Cambridge Street? So is that the neighborhood they shot it in?
No, they shot it all over.
All over, okay.
Yes.
But the only street sign I saw was Cambridge.
Yeah, the only street sign I was looking, it was a little bit faint. They didn't really make it. I don't know, maybe that's just their own technique.
I'm sorry, that's a comment on the city, because we have so few street signs. That was one of the things that struck me when I first got here.
I think we're doing pretty good on street signs myself.
Okay.
Oh, John is previewing it. Oh, wonderful. And you had good publicity
Well,
for your move.
I had to dig in there. But that's one of the buildings they used.
Yes.
That's one of the main characters.
Yes.
See two sides of somebody is very interesting. Very surprising. So we got no. I got no audio. It's just us. I got no audio running on this. It's just to show you the. There comes the star here. There he is.
That's the cop.
Yeah, Anya did a good job.
That part, oh, so many people were moved by that part. They said they have little daughters. When they saw that part, tears rolled down their eyes.
Okay.
So well done. Congratulations. Happy.
Now, I played soccer in junior high school. It was not about being physical with the other people. It's not rugby. I think that's the way I think about it.
Well, it's a cross between rugby and rugby.
Yeah.
You know, it's what they've done to the sport is they have really not done well by it. Hitting and holding and grabbing a shirt during a game.
Well, but
Soccer was a game that was played by foot and shoulder and arms and legs, and you didn't grab people.
Brazil. Go ahead, Fruit.
no, I was going to say they talk about soccer. Africa is the powerful house as soccer is concerned. Even though most people talk about Europe, when you look, the thing is Europeans, the whole of Europe, they are scared. Even the whole world, they are scared of continental Africa, because if you look, that's a continent with 55 countries. In the 70s or so, they had only one place representing that continent. Up until 2090, when Cameroon performed so well before they increased 3, now they are 5. Europe does not even up to 1/10 of the size of Africa. They have almost 12 teams going. And then imagine, look at the French team. Is the French team African or European? When France played Algeria, there were only 2 Caucasians in the team. And Cameroon beat Brazil. People in the West were really, and even all over, they were making really a big deal. Cameroon had beaten Brazil and in the Junior Olympic World Cup and took the cup. Nigeria had beaten Brazil. Ghana had beaten Brazil. But you see, I'm just trying to say that you see the inequality of arranging the World Cup to make sure that everything centers in Europe, and also bringing this myth that the best players are Europeans. There is no European team, and there is no team. You go to Germany, you go to England, all of them. You have African players, but they don't really laud their achievement that much.
There is a lot of enthusiasm in Europe. When I lived in Naples, Italy, which is south of Rome, therefore maybe not really Europe, there's running across the top of the city is a freeway known as the Tangenziale. It's tangential to the city. And you go past the soccer stadium. And I have been on the Tangenziale when there was a soccer match in progress in the stadium, which was right by the highway, and there were cars parked on the freeway, the interstate.
When I was in Brazil, I happened to be at the right place at the right time to watch a game, and it was Brazil against somebody else. And they played a heck of a game, and I really enjoyed the game. And I found a relative down there who showed me the stadium that they have. You have to understand that a lot of these countries don't have the money, it's the financing to really cultivate a game. So what they have is they have soccer, because all it takes is one ball and some goalposts. And the goalposts, they make them a little bit smaller than what we have, but they play all the time. Up and down hills and valleys and everything else. And they're enjoyable to watch the kids in action. Nobody really trains them. They train themselves.
You are very right, George. I grew up playing, using oranges as soccer. You see. So, I mean, in support of what George is saying, that is that the most of the players in the third world, and particularly Africa, that I stress on, that they never had the training and the facilities that are in the West. That's why you see them all over Europe. The best players come from Africa because that's an innate skill. They've gone through very tough and rigorous stages to be where they are. And European managers, they are all over Africa getting them, because there are greener pastures for them in Europe.
On a sort of a sad note, the Brazilian star Pele, I saw where he has gone into managed care, that he's apparently not doing well. But Pele's been around for a long time, I guess. But,
Pele is a fixture of the game.
Yes.
I mean, right in the 60s, the 50s. I don't think there is any player that had really outlived Pele. From the football field to politician, and I mean, the only one who has done so well too is the president of Liberia, George Weah, who from the football field, he became the president of Liberia.
If everybody's coming to your museum to see your magnificent sculpture of some Greek goddess, and that's the main magnet for your museum, I'm not going to be too willing to give that up. If I'm on the board of that museum, I'm going to fight tooth and nail to keep that. George, what are your thoughts, George?
Well, lives to maintain those marbles. And all of a sudden, the Brits came in. I think it was the Second World War, and they scoffed them all up and brought them back to England. So, you know, it's too bad that people had to lose their lives over saving them.
My recollection is in Greece that there are export restrictions on items that you purchase. And if things are from antiquity, you're not going to be taking them with you.
George talked of reparations. What is Greece now, or the Athenians plan? What do they want from the British?
They want to get back their cultural heritage, which was, I would say, rescued by this Brit back 200 years ago, when there was a lot of turmoil ongoing. And I think there's some reason for thinking that the proper place to display these sculptures is in Greece at the Pantheon.
Well, that brings to question, with all the art that they have looted out of Africa, when Africans mention something about reparation, Europeans are the ones, because all the museums in the West, there is no single country in the world, and mostly in Europe, that African art they have looted under this pretext that they are going to preserve. As John said, this is bringing them a lot of money. They don't even want to hear anything about reparations, because these things were stolen, they were raped, they looted it out of Africa without any penny. And when African leaders, Africans now stand up to ask for it, you hear the word from the West is, how dare you? These are our properties, and you see it, what is written about them. They are those who control it. They put certain languages that you read and think that they bought this. These things were stolen. I mean, that is, if Greece has the same, is the same thing that most African countries, we go the Benin culture, the arts and everything that was looted, things from Timbuktu and wherever, they are in the West, in the museums in the West. But what Africa gets paid off is, that is the dark continent. They are ignorant, they are illiterate, they are stupid, they cannot govern themselves. But all what the stability that was before they looted all these things, it's in Europe, in museums.
On the other hand, it's helping people to understand culture.
It's all about economics. It's all about economics. Let them, those things could go there and be there. You will say that they were preserved. Yes, they were preserved. But preserved for what? To bring economic to yourself and not for the origin.
George, any last thoughts on the returning these sculptures to Greece?
Yeah, I think they should go back, but that's a prejudicial thought, and they should go to the Parthenon and be displayed. They have a museum up there. It's very nice, and along with the history of the dances.
Quick search. This is some of what we're talking about.
Yep.
And then I'm going to try to get this one to work. So there's a lot of art that was scooped. Lost the bigness on that one.
As you can see, this is fine artwork, and it's 2,500 years old.
All done by hand.
Wow.
Let's see if there's anything else good here. These guys. Come on, baby, get up here. There you go. Did we already look at this one?
No, but that's a, we looked at it from a different direction, but that's a famous photo. Yeah, a lot of detail, a lot of good work done there. I've noticed that we've stopped referring to it as the Elgin marbles, and we're now using Pantheon marbles, which I suggest may be the politically correct approach to this issue right now.
And that's a drawing of the Pantheon.